Now that demons have been in Demon Slayer for a hot minute, it's time to look at how well they were implemented. Before their release, the expectation was that demons were going to be overpowered with their ability to heal as well as having 2 extra skills. But on the other hand, the community has found so much that they can do with the tag system that we wondered if those benefits would actually balance that major flaw. Well, demons came out and the general opinion is that Akaza is looking kinda weak and Rui is looking kinda strong. So what does that tell us about the upcoming demons? Let's find out. Here's what demons cannot do. They cannot tag in a second character and they cannot call an assist because demons play solo. Instead, they have 2 extra abilities and they can heal whenever they boost or surge. But let's look at the downsides first, starting with the assist call. What are demons losing by not being able to call assists? The first thing they're losing is calling assists for neutral. You call an assist and you just safely watch from a distance what your opponent does in order to dodge it. If you're lucky, they will block your assist and you just get in there for free, or even better, the assist will hit the opponent and at that point you can start your own combo. Demons don't have this, but instead, they have projectiles. So while that's not exactly the same, they do make it up by having a different type of neutral. And it definitely looks like the rest of the DLC will have projectiles too based on what characters are coming. Plus, the projectiles not only help in neutral, they also help them punish a lot of abilities that they wouldn't be able to punish otherwise. That said, it's not like they can throw projectiles the same way you throw an assist. If they block your projectiles, it's not like you won neutral, you didn't get in for free, and also projectiles are hard to punish, but it can be done. So on that front, I don't think they win or lose anything, it's just a different type of neutral. Another thing that assists give you is plus frames on block strings. The opponent is blocking your attacks, you call an assist, and you can usually go for some type of mix-up, be it dash-ins, attacks, strong attacks, or grabs. Demons can only rely on their own moves to do this. That's not to say that they can't go for this type of mix, it's just a lot unsafer, and it will depend on their individual moveset too. And another way that calling assists helps the Demon Slayers is when they're blocking some sort of stagger pressure, they can call an assist in one of those gaps while blocking, and the assist may catch the opponent pressuring. And there's pretty much nothing the demons have that compares to this. So when it comes to calling assists, I think overall, demons make up for some of those assist benefits, but not all of them. When it comes to neutral, they have projectiles, and I do think that gives them somewhat of a stronger neutral, but in every other aspect, be it pressure or defensively, the demons are losing big time by not having an assist. But let's move on to tagging characters, and this is where I think demons actually lost the most. Tag has given birth to so much tech that I can't go into too much depth into any of them, but just to give you some examples, heavy attack mix basically works because of the tag mechanic. When you start charging a heavy attack, your opponent has a few options, and so do you. They can choose to block, but risk getting their guard broken if you charge the heavy attack all the way. If they think you're gonna charge all the way, they can try to run away, but you can also let go of your strong attack before it's fully charged and catch them that way too. You can also dash cancel the heavy to chase them down in case they backdash or sidestep, but if you misread your opponent and they simply block and you didn't charge your heavy attack the whole way, you're still safe because you can simply tag in another character. Now, if you're a demon and you make this mistake, this is a free punish. Demons can't do anything after a heavy attack is blocked or whiff, which is not to say they shouldn't use it, but it's immediately a weaker tool than any of the slayers who can tag out after doing it. Next piece of tech, parry tag. Pretty much self-explanatory. As a slayer, you can attempt to parry and be completely safe by tagging in a character, so if your parry whiffs, you're not getting punished immediately. Demons can't do this, they have to commit to the parry, and if they mistime it, they're in trouble. Next, hidden grab mix-ups. Whenever a character has a skill with a lot of visual noise like Rengoku's Fire Tiger, they can tag in a second character who is pretty much invisible and just sneak a grab in there that is extremely hard to see. Demons can create that visual noise, but if they want to grab, they're gonna have to cancel out of their ability. So the grab won't be as hidden anymore. There are still some tricky setups to make this grab happen and have it be very, very hard to react, but it's a bit more honest than what the slayers can currently do. And they also gotta play a lot more honest neutral because they can just throw an ability and tag into the next character. Sure, they have the projectiles, but as a slayer, especially if you have good forward advancing moves, sometimes you can just throw an ability and tag, and you're completely safe if the opponent blocks it or dodges. But if it hits, you usually get a full combo. Besides, if you do this with a slayer, the damage you get from the combo is pretty much a full combo. If you hit your opponent with a demon projectile, however, the damage you're gonna deal is probably not that big of a deal. There are a lot more things that slayers can do with tags that demons can't, but one that I think is very important and that we'll see more and more as time goes on is the Lei Wake Up. So this game has 2 types of knockdown. There's a soft knockdown where you can choose to tech immediately or stay on the ground. And then there's a hard knockdown where you're forced to stay on the ground for a period of time. Except, if you tag in your other character, you can actually wake up any time between those two. People often go for hard knockdowns whenever they need to charge meter or they need to waste some time waiting for their assist to regenerate, and you can totally deny that downtime by simply tagging in another character. And the best part is that you can do this anytime from the moment you're knocked down until the moment your character gets up. This gives you variable wake up timing, and it's very hard to deal with. You deny that time waste, you can come in mashing because the opponent never knows when it's happening. Unless they're far away or charging a heavy attack, there are still counters to this. But it's so strong at countering so many options, and it's yet another thing that demons do not have access to. But enough about what the demons don't have. What do they have actually that Slayers cannot use? Well, they have 2 extra abilities to complete their moveset or to plug some of their weaknesses. For Akaza, most of his damage comes from these abilities, because his main skills are all pretty bad at dealing damage. But honestly, I'd rather have 3 normal skills that aren't nerfed to death like this, instead of those 2 extra things to make up for, you know, the lack of damage that Akaza has. And as for Rui, those skills end up being sort of a utility thing, since the character's strength isn't even in his skills, it's just his normal attacks. So with those 2 extra abilities for now, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But the other thing they do, and this one is very good, is regenerate health whenever they boost or surge. The thing about that health regen is that 1, you'll regenerate about as much damage as can be dealt to you in half a combo. Demons don't regenerate that much health. It can be good sometimes, especially to win a battle by timeout, but it ends up being situational as it doesn't save you as often as you'd hope. And 2, the health regen stops whenever you dash or block, making it really hard to make the most out of it if you have an opponent who can play solid neutral or apply pressure, because that will force you to dodge or block. And then you say goodbye to your health regeneration. Of course, Surge makes all your moves armored, so it's a lot easier to play aggressive like that, but you're usually only going to Surge once per match, and the amount of health you're gonna regenerate, since it's not that much, it means that this is something that demons definitely need, but it's not as big of an advantage as like it first sounded. I think the amount of health that demons regenerate isn't gonna be a game changer in most situations, but of course, that's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree, that's just where I stand at this point. All in all, demons are starting at a disadvantage. If we look at all the stuff they're losing compared to what they gain by not having an assist, I think it definitely balances in the favor of demon slayers. But does that mean that every demon that comes out is doomed to be a mid to low tier? I don't think so, and Rui is the perfect example. Rui shows exactly how they could balance demons in the future, by making them absolutely busted in some specific way. Rui has the best attack buttons in the game. It gives him long range punishing, stagger pressure like no one else, and a lot more. He also has one of the best grabs in the game. I mean, look at where this grab caught me. That's insane! And some tools that make him a reset monster, so even though his combos got low damage, he can open you up a lot more times than most characters. Paired up with his projectile game in neutral, Rui is an incredibly solid character. But to make him a solid character, they had to go that far in his individual strength. They had to give him the best attack buttons in the game. If you take those attack buttons away and just give him normal attacks, the character is immediately low tier. Easy. And just to really hammer away this point, imagine if Rui did not have those 2 extra abilities, but instead he was able to call an assist or tag in a character. He wouldn't miss those abilities at all. That would be totally fine. With the ability to tag or call an assist, Rui would probably be the best character in the game. So to make up for the demon flaws, they had to give him something extremely busted. And that's where I think they failed with Akaza. Akaza has one of the best skills in the game, Annihilation. Other than that, the character is a bit standard. They didn't go far enough with Akaza. They didn't give him something busted to make up for his demon flaws. On top of that, they gave him the highest damage multiplier in the game, so he takes the most damage out of anyone. So not only did they not make him busted, they also made him a glass cannon that doesn't deal damage. I have some ideas on how Akaza could be buffed, but maybe that's a separate video. But I don't want to end this video without saying that nailing the balance of a brand new character that plays completely different from everyone in the roster is a very hard thing to do. It's so easy to overshoot one way or the other, make someone overpowered or really just trash, useless. And if you take that into consideration and look at how Rui and Akaza were implemented into the game, I think they did an okay job. A balance patch may be required, but still, I don't think any of these characters are broken or useless. And what that does to me is leave me very, very excited to see how they're gonna handle the future demons. Because hopefully they look at this patch and they look at what people are playing and how, and they realize that, yeah, demons are a lot weaker by default, we gotta give them something busted to make up for that. If that's the lesson they take away from this, I'm very excited to see what's gonna be busted about Susamaru, Yahaba, Enmu, and Cuckboy. But what's your opinion on this whole subject? Do you think demons are doomed to never be a top tier? I wanna know what you guys think in those comments down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!